Alright. Um, it's roughly 5:30 right now. I haven't gone to sleep yet. Um, I haven't really. I thought like after I was done, I would just go straight to sleep. And just kind of take a break because holy shit. I was not expecting that as the twist. I definitely thought, well, I don't know. I guess, you know, as you get towards the end, you kind of figure out, all right, that's where that's going. But there's some more stuff that I've seen over the past couple of hours or so, and I think I want to get some thoughts out before I delve back in. Because at first I thought I just broke the game, and that there was actually an error that I needed to fix in order to reset the game and then get it to work again. I don't think that's actually the case. I think that I didn't actually complete the game like I thought I did. I just thought it was over, and that error line just meant, all right, fix this, reset it, and then try again. Which would actually be a really interesting way to force someone to then, like, if there were bad endings and then the game kind of just shuts itself off and then you go ahead and, you know, you refix it, and then you're forced to kind of like refix it or whatever. But that's not the case. I think that the decision that I made has broken the game, and now I think I can only play the game broken, and that's a little freaky. So I wanted to do some sandboxing ideas and see just what would happen, and I think altogether I have a few interesting ideas of what the fuck happened, and I think what is going to happen. So I got on my old computer, and I wanted to try a few things, because I wanted to go ahead and get in there and see what was going on. Just like, all right, what am I missing? And one of the things that I did figure out was that the files did actually change. Well, not change, but there were things that were actually happening. There were files that were coming up after I went to go check out the error thing. So give me 1 second here. I want to bring it back up again. Right now I'm up here. I'm probably going to save a photo of this later and show it to you, because, you know, my recording program only really kind of allows me to record one screen at a time, and I think it's going to be weird having to go back and forth between files and whatnot. So I'm just going to show on a screenshot what's going on my end, and then what's actually, you know, and then I guess do a little bit of commentary to kind of explain some things. I don't want to go straight back into the game quite yet. I gotta calm down a little bit, and it still hasn't gotten there yet. Like I'm still shaking a little bit. So the first thing that I did was that I noticed that they told me to go and look back at the log and the traceback and everything. So the log, when I opened that, there's nothing really in there. It just kind of like knows, like, all right, what to kind of deal with in terms. It looks just normal. There's nothing out of like the ordinary there. It just all looks like code. So there was nothing wrong there. Then there's another file here that's called Traceback. And I don't know if I remember that being there or not. It's kind of blurry. My whole memory of this game is a little blurry. But when I open the Traceback one, I'll read it to you now, and show it up on the screen as well. It just says there's a line here that it's not script. It's a weird kind of thing that just happened. And then it just looks like someone typed a message in here. So, I mean, you go back down, it says like full Traceback, and it'll show like it's trying to access like, or it's doing events in line in like the code or whatever. But then in here, there's a line that just says, oh geez, I didn't break anything, did I? Hold on a sec, I can probably fix this. ... I think, ellipses. Actually, you know what? This would be a lot easier if I just deleted her. She's the one who's making this so difficult. Ahaha. Well, here goes nothing. That's weird, because there's another file here that I want to get to in a moment. That's just a picture. As a matter of fact, I'll bring it up now and kind of get this one out of the way because it freaked me out when I saw it. I have a feeling that the game isn't over yet because of this picture. It's very, if you ever seen or played a .exe game before, that's kind of what the image reminds me of. And not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. I don't know if this image changed or whatnot. As a matter of fact, I don't even know when did this image appear? 1:05 a.m. 1:05 a.m. That's when that came up. Because I think that was right around the time that I finished, actually. The Traceback's from 1:19, so I don't know if that was actually when I just exited the game or not. But the log's from 1:29. So who knows? There's a whole bunch of things that could have happened. But yeah, that image popped up at some point, and then there it was. It's like a creepy picture of Cerie with, it's a very bad looking drawing, and then there's just like a glitched out, I don't know if there's a message underneath there or what, but it's covering like her eyes and then just like a smile. I should probably actually screenshot this because if I go back in, I don't know if this file will change again, so I want to actually keep it there. Give me 1 second here. But it's also not happy thoughts spelled correctly. It's like, I mean, it'll show it in the, I guess the window box. It'll say like, it's got like X's and X's where like the A and the O is supposed to be. It's very strange. So I noticed that because I remember when I went to go in, like there was a break where I thought that the game was messing with the files, but then nothing looked wrong. Nothing looked out of place. So I figured, okay, maybe it's not it. Maybe it's like one of those meta deals like in Undertale where something's going on in the background, but I just can't see it, and there's something that's controlling all of this. Then I noticed something else that was a little bit off. First, well, okay, so here's the thing. So when I went to go test the screenshot, my screenshot was there. The screenshot's still there. Nothing has changed for it. It's just the screenshot of Yuri that I had. It's normal. It just says the world is full of meaning, often hidden deep beneath plain sight, which is such a weird. That was the line that made me freak out a bit and then think about what's going on. So I have some suspicions of a few characters that I'm gonna get into later, but that was the one that made me think. So after that's still there, but there was some other things that weren't right. I wanted to go just check out like most of the folders and everything. Like I went into contents, but that all had to deal with like Mac OS stuff. The library dealt with like Windows stuff, and I felt like if I messed with that, that's where I would, mess up a little bit. So I didn't touch anything there. But when I went into game, I noticed that there was a folder called saves. So I figured, okay, that's where all my saves and all my progress is. When I click in saves, there's nothing there. Now, I haven't actually tried to click load game from inside of there. I actually, I don't know if load game is actually messed up there too. Like, I know that it has like the glitched out image of Cerie, which is just actually just the combined pieces of like the other three characters. And I believe it's new game that now has like the weird, just random text that's there. Random characters, I guess. So suddenly that's not there anymore in my saves. But again, I'm not 100% sure whether or not that's actually where my save files go. I mean, that's my guess because, you know, it's a little, I mean, what else would you label it as? Loads. And then I went into characters, the characters folder. The characters folder I thought was weird because I didn't go in there before. At least I don't remember going in there before. But there's 3 characters there. Monica.chr, or at least there's 3 files here. There's Monica.chr, there's Natsuki.chr, and there's Yuri.chr. There's 2 things that are a little odd about it. The first is this. There's no Cerie, and at first I wasn't sure if just Cerie was never there or if she got deleted. That was the first thing that kind of, I mean, it's the immediate, like, obvious one. But then there's a second one that's a little weird too. The character builds can't be that complex where they're like these enormous different file sizes, you know? Like, why is like Natsuki and Yuri a little closer to each other at like 30 and 44 kilobytes? Yet Monica's at like 135. She's tripling or quadrupling even some of these numbers. So I thought that was a bit off. I don't know if that has something to do with like Monica, because it seems like Monica's the character that controls the game. That's what it feels like. There's moments where she breaks the 4th wall, and that moment where she gives you the poem called Save Me and tells you, you know, the writing tip of the day is to save the game. So after I looked at all of that, I was like, okay, there's something I've got to be missing. There's something that I didn't do right, and the game is punishing me for not doing that. And maybe that there's something that I actually need to do, like if I actually go ahead and save the game at a point and then go back at certain points, like before Cerie starts to go a little off the trail, maybe there's something I can do that makes Cerie happy and that makes everybody happy, and then, you know, I get the good ending. Because I imagine, I think that there's probably a way that, because I feel like if I shift my attention to like another character, then someone else dies. You know what I mean? Like, what if I show my love and affection for Cerie, and then like Natsuki gets jealous as a result of it, and then Natsuki's the one who ends up hanging herself or killing herself or whatever? Or what if I go towards Natsuki, who has all these happy poems that Yuri doesn't like, and then Yuri goes off and, like, I don't know, because she has the knife. Because remember, at the end, the knife, like, it cuts you when you're trying to see like how sharp it is, and it instantly draws blood. Maybe she goes and just like stabs herself in the end or something like that. So I thought about that, and I was like, wait, in making those connections, the only person that I didn't even care to think about in doing that was Monica. Monica is the only one in the game that you don't have a direct romance option with. There's no way to get, you know, to make, she's always in like, she's strangely in like the foreground, like she's like breaking the game or like, or not necessarily even breaking the game, but like she breaks off scenes. She comes in at weird times. She's never like someone that you can impress with your poems or anything like that. She's always the one that is just kind of like in the background. So, I mean, the Traceback makes it seem that way, especially with the dialogue that you find out later with Cerie talking to Monica, and then, you know, like Monica talks to Cerie, and then she gets more depressed, and then Cerie goes to Monica, and then Monica tells you about how you left her at the house, you left her hanging there at her house, which, come on, you don't make a line like that and then not be the one who's causing all the trouble. So then I thought, it's Monica. It's no doubt it's Monica. Monica is the evil thing in this game, and that's what I have to eliminate. So that's when I was like, all right, we're gonna do some sandboxing. I want to try out a few things, and I want to see what happens. So the first thing that I tried was that I went into my old computer, the one that I used to do all my videos and stuff on. Still works a little bit, but I wanted to give it just a quick run. And I downloaded the game, and sure enough, there's no happy thoughts, none of that stuff is there. And when you go and you see the characters, all 4 of them are there. All 4 of them. Monica, Yuri, Cerie, and Natsuki. So I thought, okay, so it is true. There are actually 4 character models or character files that are here. What happens if I eliminate the threat? So if I get rid of Monica, then the game should be normal, or maybe the game just doesn't work, or something like that. I thought that at least eliminating Monica might like alleviate the stress and everything like that, and then all of a sudden like the game decides to work itself. Because why would the game have a point in which a character is deleted and leave a message about deleting the character, and then not reward you for going back and then saying, okay, I'm just gonna start up a new game and just delete Monica? That was my thinking. I tried that, and then when I opened the game, Monica's still there. She's still there in the title screen, and everything was fine. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. Maybe the character files have no effect. And I wish I would recorded this, but I wasn't thinking at the time, because I just thought I made nothing of it. I was just gonna try some things and figure out what would happen. When you start a new game, Cerie appears, and all she says is, wait, this can't be it. Is this all there is, or something like that? This can't be right, or something like that. And all she does screams is just, make it stop, please make it stop, please make it stop. And then the game just crashes. It closes, and then that's it. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Why would it do that? I open the game back up again, and it's a black screen. You just hear some like dusty noises in the background, and it just brings up the end, just like at the end when Cerie hangs herself, and it's just the image of Cerie hanging herself, but it's like just imprinted into the background now. And no matter what you do, no matter how many times you try to reopen it, that image is there. So even if you try to manually delete Monica, the game ends and it's over. So it's got to be the game itself. It can't, to me, it can't, it's got to be more than Monica. Monica can't just be, it can't just be that like Monica's weird. And then when I went back to actually check the character files, all the character files were gone. All of them. And that's not what I did. I only deleted Monica. But then, all of a sudden, when I went back to go check the character files, all of them were gone. All of them. So, and I can't fix the game either now. It's fucked. Maybe I should just, I don't want to go online right now and like figure out, all right, what is the solution to like bring it back up or anything like that. I'm trying to avoid that because I think that there's more to actually do here. But yeah, no, it's fucked. It's completely fucked now. So that brought me to a few theories. The one theory, the obvious one to me that just, it seems like it's in plain sight, is just Monika's evil. She is the game. She's the AI. She controls what happens. She's super jealous. She wants you all to herself. She is yandere, which is, I know, a joke that I made, but I think that in the obvious theory, she is yandere. That's what it is. She is slowly trying to eliminate one by one all of her rivals just so that she can have you by herself. Which is why she never comes up as an option, and why you're allowed to try to romance the other girls, and that we've gotten to the horror part of this game where she's going to eliminate them one by one. But I don't think that it's that simple. Like, it's not just like, oh, eliminating them one by one by like killing them. She is essentially in the game going to delete them, delete their characters. So every time that you try to romance them, she's going to kill them. Which then made me throw out the idea that it's possible to reload the game at some point and try to make it balanced. I don't think that happens. I think that ending with Cerie is by design. That's supposed to happen. No matter what, that happens. So that you can then get to the part where she puts you through this torture. There's probably just gonna be like, because I feel like we've gotten to the .exe part of this game. You know what I mean? She's probably gonna play another game where I have a feeling that now it's just going to be Cerie, Monika. No, not Cerie. Cerie's dead. Natsuki, Yuri, and Monika. And then if I pick one of them, then it's just gonna be Yuri and Monika, and then there's gonna be like another, like I said, another playthrough. Like it's gonna kill her off. However, they're gonna kill her off. I don't know how. And then with Yuri and Monika, there's gonna be the third playthrough, and then the end of the game is just you and Monika in the end. She gets what she wants, and I don't know. I guess you're in happiness. Some dark, twisted, fucked up happiness. And then that's the end of the game. So, I mean, that's all I can think is that, like, that's how that route has to end. But then I had a different kind of thought process about this too. What if it's not necessarily that Monika is yandere and that it's like all about just her trying to romance you? Because I thought about those actions that Monika was doing, and then I think it was the Save Me poem. The Save Me poem was really weird. And I don't know if I read the rest of it, because I remember they were talking about spacing, and I actually don't think I scrolled all the way down when I was reading that poem. I actually think I was missing a big chunk or a piece at the end just because it looked like it was the end. Like, all I remember is that it said like, the title of the poem was like, Save Me. I made like a calculus joke at the end, and then I realized it a little after, because I looked back at the capture once I was done. I didn't read the end of that poem. My cursor only went about halfway down, it looked like, because there was still some room left. So I don't know if there was another message at the end there. But perhaps there is something. I feel like there's two different meanings to that. I feel like the first meaning of that poem is that, yes, saving and loading the game itself, which is why she gives you that tip at the end, is a big part of the game itself. And then I guess kind of like getting to a good ending. You know what I mean? Like I know that people have told me already with Undertale that in the current route that I'm going, it's the genocide route. Now, I don't know what happens in the end. I still haven't gotten past the Bunny King dude, King Elfor or Griffor or something like that. I can't remember his name because it's been a while. And that going the pacifist route actually gets you, I guess, the happier ending and is the way that you're supposed to go, which I think at some point I want to get back to. But I feel like in this game, if the first theory isn't true, then there is a way to actually save all these characters, to save everyone. And that it has to do with the decisions that you make in the first playthrough. Because the second that Cerie hangs herself and dies, I'm guessing this is when this happens, all your save files go away. And I'm going to confirm it once we go back in, because because it looks like I have no save files. When I go back in, I'm expecting that there's going to be no save files. There's no way for me to load all of a sudden. Especially if the character's gone, what do I load back to? You know what I mean? So I think that in her telling you save me in that poem, I really want to know what that last bit is. That last bit is I feel like there's something important in there that I'm missing. But I think that it does have to do with the actual save system in the game and what it requires you to do in order to win and get the good ending. What's the other thing? Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought because right, the second part of save me. What if, like I said, Monica isn't necessarily yandere, but that Monica in reality is trapped? What if the Save Me poem and her talking about like seeing all the colors and the sounds being all like violent or bad or harming her, the lights and everything, the sign coasts, like those are weird things to say. Like that's not normal. That's not, it sounds like a cry for help. Like Monica is asking me to try to save her. Or maybe she's trying to save me. Maybe that's the third meaning as well. And that in everything that's happening, essentially, I have to, or she, because think about it. Flip what I said about the whole storyline and how Monica's not involved the other way around. What if you can't romance Monica, not necessarily because she's yandere, but because the game has decided that you can't do it? She's trapped. She's never an option. She's never a thought or anything like that. It's just, she's just in the background. She's a club president. There's a point where there's a little bit of a hint, I think, where she talks about what happened. Oh, right. She was late to the club that day, and she was like, ooh, maybe it's because she has a boyfriend or whatever. But then she tells you, no, she was practicing piano, and they bring up the whole, like, boyfriend thing, and then she looks at me, or I guess the main character. And I didn't really make much of that at that point until I started thinking back. And if this kind of theory is right, then I think there is a point to Monica being a bit in love with you and wanting to like you, and because she has this song that she wants to play for you. Remember, she's practicing the song and she says, she wants to play it for you at some point, like when she actually perfects it or she gets it right. But she's never actually a romance option. Everything that you do, and even she'll be like, hey, it looks like you wrote this poem for this person. Which I get it. It's a bit of a game feature. It's almost like the game is telling you that. To show you like, all right, which girl are you actually going after? But isn't that weird? Like, why is this person who seems like she has the ability to at least show some human emotion in terms of showing interest in you, acting like an AI bot and acting as if like I don't know how to completely describe it. It just all seems very off. And I think that the other coin of thinking that she is just the evil AI in this game and is going to eliminate all the characters is that she's actually not evil. And that she's actually just trying to vie for your attention to try to get you to save her. And I don't know much about Natsuki's story, but I do know about Yuri's story. And all I can do right now is take Yuri at face value. Yuri and Natsuki are the only ones that haven't really acted weird. Sayori is the one who has acted weird. She went from being like worrying about me having friends and like showing like normal symptoms of depression to then all of a sudden just like it went manic depression all of a sudden. Like I talked a little bit about being like heartbroken and being stricken when you feel like you're being rejected by someone or someone that you like all of a sudden has a love interest. But I mean, she went completely off the deep end. Like I said, I've never gone to actual suicide or like attempting it. Sure, I can understand that feeling of like, damn, I just like want to die and just like go away. But you just kind of stay to yourself for a bit and then you get over it. You just start to kind of build to like some normalcy again. She just straight up went off the deep end. But Yuri and Natsuki are the only ones who have been, I guess, in some way normal. And if I have to take them at face value, there's something not quite right about Yuri. And that worries me more than anything else. I don't know about Natsuki and everything. I mean, like, what is it? She just talks about manga all the time. But it's the way that, like, Yuri acts is just, it's off the book. What is it? She said it's like the portrait of someone. It's like he had like a Russian name. She keeps bringing up like an eye. Like she talked about, I think like the cover of the book had an eye. She made a weird line at some point that seemed like some sort of foreshadowing to something to come. When she gets up and reads the poem, again, it's something about an eye. I think she said the crimson eye or something like that. When I hear crimson, there's only two things that come into my mind: Alabama and blood. What? And I remember there was one scene where, oh yeah, right, no, right, because right. Okay, so there's actually two. Okay, I'm gonna bring up the one that I just remembered. So I just talked about crimson and blood. There's the scene where I cut myself, or I cut my finger on the thing, and then she takes my finger and puts it in her mouth and sucks the blood. Like, that's creepy as fuck. I'm sorry, it's not a normal thing to do. That's very weird, and I don't know. I feel like Natsuki wouldn't do that. Natsuki wouldn't do something weird like that. But the other thought that I had too, the original one, damn, that's such a weird thing that I just thought about that. Maybe Yuri is actually the bad guy. What if, okay, this is how I'm going to tie it together. So the other thought that I had about Yuri is this. There's a part where Yuri goes in there and Yuri, we're sitting close to each other. We're reading a book. We're getting closer. I have some chocolate and I feed the chocolate to her. And she takes the chocolate in her mouth, and then as I'm about to give her another one, and I think there's like the possibility that we might kiss or something, it felt as if the game made a hard cut in the middle of that scene. Like she cut the scene off, and then Monica just interrupts and is like, all right, everybody, we're gonna go do something else now. It jarred me. Like, that scene jarred me. Like, it was almost a bit like a jump scare a bit. Because that was not what I was expecting to happen. And it just felt hard. And then the music stopped, too. Like, it felt like it was going to a serious tone. And whenever the music has stopped in this game, it gets seriouser. It gets, well, not seriouser. It gets more serious. So, I have a feeling that if the theory is that Monica is trying to, I have to save Monica and Monica is trying to save me, that perhaps there's something wrong with Yuri. And I think that there's enough around her that I actually kind of believe that to be true. Now, I don't know if there's some truth in between both of those theories, and that Monica, I mean, because it has to be that there has to be a bit of this that Monica is actually in charge of and is deleting characters. I think there's that bit of it. And I don't know how to put these two things together and make them line up, because it can't just be, I feel like it can't just be the two of these theories by themselves. Like, in some way they have to intertwine, right? They have to. So I think that Monica is, yes, the AI, and is, yes, getting rid of these characters, and I feel like she's gonna get rid of them one by one. But then on top of that, Monica is trying to save me from these characters. There's something that Monica knows that the game doesn't want me to get to. And maybe there's something deeper in all of this. I feel as if the game has intentionally not made her a selectable, like, dating option or anything like that, just simply because they're trying to lock her out. Like, she's locked up. She's trapped somewhere. I don't know how to line these two ideas up together, but I get a very, 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 like, just thinking about it. Because if it was just as simple as it's like Monica's the issue and it's just her, then why is it that when I delete Monica at the start of the game that, you know, Cerie still hangs herself? That's not normal. That's not normal behavior. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just ranting a bit, and I can already see this has gotten kind of long. But those are kind of my thoughts going into this. I guess I'm going to have to play the rest of it. I'm going to probably get a little bit of sleep. I'm going to try now that I've actually been able to get some thoughts out. And then we'll pick this back up. Blackjack out.